ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधितमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तः शान्तः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिम् यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ओम श्री
ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः।
अथ
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्लोक नंबर 8। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय
मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय।
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव वत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः।
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः।
अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम्।
अथ
चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थितम्।
अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय।
अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छुं धनञ्जय।
अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव।
अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव।
मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि।
मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि।
Up to that we saw. The first shloka of the chapter began with the question of Arjuna. similar to that of the third chapter, fifth chapter. Only the words are different. Karma sannyasa or karma yoga. Jnani or karma yogi. Now here it is Saguna Brahma Upasakaha or Nirguna Brahma Upasaka. Who is nearer to moksha? Arjuna wanted to know that who is better, in the sense that who is closer to moksha. Those who pursue Nirguna Brahma Upasana or those who pursue a life of Karma Yoga with Upasana, meditation on Saguna Brahma. And Bhagavan, he replied, saying that Maya Vesha Mano Yema Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Teme Yukta Tamo Mataha. Karma yogis who meditate upon Ishvara as Virat Rupa, Virat Ishvara, they are nearer, closer to me, closer to moksha. They are yoga vittamaha. But Bhagavan did not talk about Nirguna Brahma Upasaka because you cannot compare. Comparison is not possible. Between Karma Sannyasa and Karma Yoga, what is a comparison? Karma Yoga is a means for Karma Sannyasa. Therefore, there is no comparison possible. But Arjuna wanted to compare and he asked the same question as he asked in the fifth chapter, and he will ask again in the 18th chapter, also last chapter. So therefore, Bhagavan says, they are yoga vittamaha, Nirguna Brahma Upasakas and Saguna Brahma Upasakas. Among these two, the Saguna Brahma Upasakas, they are yoga vittamaha. Therefore, Arjuna, you take two. Nirguna Brahma Upasana is difficult. Therefore, you take two Vishwarupa Bhakti, Vishwarupa Upasana. So by that, gaining the blessings of the Lord, Ishvara Anugraham Prapya Muktaha Bhavati. Therefore, you place your mind. Mayeva Manaha Adatsva. Mayi Buddhim Niveshaya. Mayi in me. Fix your mind. Adatsva. Vishwarupe Mayi Manaha Adatsva. As well as Buddhi. But Manaha Buddhi both are included in Antakarnam. Then why it is said? We saw the mind, that is Manaha. Manaha may be placed in Ishvara, but there is Aviveka. Because of Aviveka, Buddhi, or because of commitment, the Buddhi may not be there in the Lord. Because of Aviveka, therefore there is no Purushartha Nishtaya. Therefore, even though the mind is fixed in the Lord, because of the lack of the clear understanding of the Purushartha, one may not able to appreciate, one may not able to understand properly the Ishvara Tattva, Dharma Tattva. Therefore, Buddhi also should be placed in me, because Buddhi stands for Vichara, Buddhi stands for inquiry. Without Buddhi, there is no entry into Ishvara. How will you enter into Ishvara? Mayi Adatsva. How will you fix your mind in Ishvara? So therefore, there should be the support of the Buddhi. There should be understanding on the part of the Buddhi. Then only the pursuit is meaningful. Otherwise, mind is there, Buddhi doesn't have clear understanding. There is no Purushartha Nishchaya. Therefore, the pursuit becomes misguided, misdirected. And also buddhi can be taken. Buddhi can be taken for meaning in the sense of inquiry, proper inquiry, vichara. So therefore, vichara on Ishvara Swarupam. And vichara supported by the mind, which is placed in Ishvara out of the appreciation of the Lord. You acknowledge, you appreciate that Ishvara is everything. Ishvara in the form of dharma. You acknowledge that, you appreciate that, backed up by the proper vichara through buddhi. So therefore, setting one's mind upon Ishvara, for which the life of Karma Yoga is recommended, and the buddhi should be committed to the vichara of the Ishvara. Therefore, Mayi eva mana adatsva, Mayi buddhim niveshaya. What is the result? What is the palam? Tena kim prayojanam iti priche. Mayi eva nivesishyasi. You will live in me alone. Means you are never, you will be never separated from me. Me who is Vishwarupa. So after fixing your mind and buddhi on me, you are never separate away from me. Ataha urdham na samshaya. There is no doubt with regard to this. There is no doubt with regard to this. Fix your mind in me, who is not separate from you. Therefore, it is Atma alone, that one Atma which is limitless, which is Purna, that sense of the individuality is resolved in Ishvara. Therefore, there is only one Atma, Purna Atma, there is Jiva Atma, Paramatma. That Veda is gone. Therefore, you will enter into me. So, therefore, Mayeva Nivasishyasi, you will enter into me, you will live in me alone. Ataha, Ataha thereafter. Thereafter meaning after this knowledge. Or after death also we can take. Because Karma Yoga with Upasana. Therefore, the phalam is superior in the form of attaining Brahmaloka. Therefore, Krama Mukti. That also possible. That meaning also can be taken. Ataha urdham samsheha, there is nothing greater than this. So Karma Yoga backed up by Upasana, the person does, therefore he will attain Brahmaloka, and Brahmaloka, from that he gets against Krama Mukti. Or by the knowledge, he gains Mukti. That the meaning also can be taken. Ultimately, the one who follows this, he will gain freedom. This is the second the step. That is starting from the Shloka number, third Shloka onwards, up to the 12th Shloka, you will see. 5 stages of bhakti is talked about. 5 stages of bhakti. And here the stages are talked about. Generally, stages is sopanam, steps. It is talked about the steps are generally presented from the lower to the higher. But here, the steps are presented from the higher to the lower. That is, the first one is Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Nirguna Brahma Upasana means Nirguna Brahma Vichara. If that is not possible, that is Akshara Brahma Upasana, Nirguna Upasana, that leads directly to moksha. That is the highest form of bhakti. Jnani to Atma Iva Mematam. Then if it is not possible, then may you resort to Vishwarupa Bhakti. That is Vishwarupa Upasana. And that is what is talked about in the 6th Shloka to 8th Shloka. That is one step lower than Akshara Brahma Upasana. Now, having talked about that, if that is also not possible, then further down he says in the 9th Shloka, Atachittam Samadhatum na Shaknoshi. That is one more step down in the 9th Shloka. That is the third ladder, third step. If the second step is difficult, then you can come to the third step, the third ladder, third stage. That is, top one is Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Next one is Vishwarupa Upasana. Third one is Atachittam Samadhatum Na Shaknoshi. Even if you say fixing your mind upon Vishwarupa, if it is difficult, then you take to Abhyasa Yoga, Abhyasa Yogena, Abhyasa Yoga. Abhyasa means practice. So if the object of Upasana, if it is Vishwarupa, and if we find it difficult, if the object of Upasana is Vishwarupa, and if you find difficult to meditate on Vishwarupa Ishvara, then you can choose any form of the Devata suited to your liking. You can take any form, you can meditate on that form. When you meditate, that it's natural that mind will go away from the object of meditation, then you bring it back. That is what meditation is. So meditation involves bringing back the mind again back to the object of meditation. So bringing back the mind from everything else to again to the object of meditation. It's natural that mind will go astray, therefore bring it back. Therefore abhyasa. When the mind becomes absorbed, then becomes samadhi. That is the highest stage. So it's natural that mind will move away from the object of meditation. Whenever it goes away, bring it back. That's why abhyasa. So you meditate on me, meditate on any particular form. That is the third stage. So Vishwarupa Upasana is not possible, then you take to Ishtadevata Upasana. So Ishtadeva Upasana, that is Bhakti. So Bhakti Upasana, they are synonymously used here. But will it give moksha? No, it will not give moksha directly. It will not give moksha directly. Moksha is, of course, only through jnanam, but it helps in gaining the chitta samadhanam, gaining the chitta naischalyam. Finally, it will prepare the person for jnanam. The person will gain the yogyata for jnanam, then therefore moksha. So chitta samadhanam, chitta naischalyam, that gives. So therefore abhyasa. Or abhyasa, the word can be taken, as we saw before. It can be taken as Ashtanga Yoga. So therefore, starting from asana onwards, yama onwards, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, then dhyana, then samadhi, finally samadhi. In samadhi, the person becomes one with the object of meditation, completely absorbed. So by abhyasa, by practice. Now, even if that is difficult, even if you say that meditating on Ishta Deva, Upasana, even if you say that is difficult, then he says the 10th shloka which we saw, Abhyase api asamartaha asi. Then mat karma paramo bhava. You take to karma yoga. You perform karma with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. As he taught in the 3rd chapter. If your mind is not steady even for a minute and you cannot meditate on your Ishtadevata, then that is Abhyasa Yoga. If you are not capable, then take to Karma Yoga. Why Abhyasa Yoga is not possible? Because the mind is highly Rajasic. Because of the predominance of Rajoguna, therefore there is difficulty in focusing the mind, making the mind focus on in a particular form on the Ishtadevata. Therefore, in order to make the mind sattva, more sattva, because of Rajoguna, the mind is highly active. Therefore, to make it sattva, what you do? You perform karma yoga. Antakarana shuddhyartam. Rajas is also a mala. Kama yeshaha, krodha yeshaha, rajoguna samudbhavaha. Therefore, he says, because of Rajas, you are not able to sit in the seat of meditation. Therefore, mat karma paramo bhava. You take up activities for my sake. Ishvararpana buddhya karma kuru. Madartam karma kuru, mat karma. Perform all the activities. Laukika karma or Vaidika karma. Nitya karma, Nitya Nimitika karma. Perform all the activities for my sake. Live a dharmic life. Reduce your kami karma. Avoid complete pratishidda karma. By doing so, will you gain moksha? Yes, but not directly. By doing so, sattva guna will increase. Rajoguna will be overpowered by sattva guna. Therefore, mind becomes calm and quiet. Now it is ready for Shravanam. And therefore jnanam, and therefore moksha. That is how it is krama. The krama, we have to understand. It is not explicitly said, but it to be understood because jnanena yeva moksha. Jnanam is only through pramanam. Pramanam is shastram. Therefore guru pasadanam. So everything will fall in place. So paramparaya jnana praptihi. For that sattva guna is sattva guna of the mind. Antakarnam should be sattva. That is why antakarnam also is called sattva. If antakarnam is rajo pradana, then meditation is not possible, upasana is not possible. Therefore, be a karma yogi. Then also you will gain everything. Living a life of karma yoga with supported by meditation upon Ishvara, Saguna Brahma. That is called yoga vittamaha. That person is closer to moksha. That is what Bhagavan said in the beginning. Yoga vittamaha. If you meditate on Akshara Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, Upasana, that is meditation, that is inquiry, you will come to me. If you can't meditate, you meditate on Vishwarupa Ishvara. That also you can't, then meditate on any Ishta Devata, any form of Ishta Devata. That also you are not able to do. Then perform Karma Yoga. By that also you will reach me alone. If that is not possible, even that is not possible, then what to do? That he says in the next shloka. But there's an interesting thing in the Bhashyam. Bhashyakara says to the commentary of the shloka, 10th shloka, Sattva Shuddhi Yoga Jnana Prapti Dvarena Avapsyasi. That is the krama. That is Jnanena Yava Mokshaha. For Jnana Yogyata. For Jnana Yogyata only this Karma Yoga. For Jnana Yogyata only this Upasana, etc. Therefore, Jnana Prapti, what is Jnana Prapti Dvarena? Sattva Shuddhya Jnana Yogyata Prapti Tadvarena Eva Mokshaha. Tvam Mam Avapsyasi. Madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Siddhim avapsyasi. You will gain siddhi. You will gain me. Avapsyasi. You will gain moksha. You will gain siddhi. But avapsyasi, you gain av. Sattva shuddhi yoga jnana prapti dvarena. Sattva shuddhya antakarna shuddhya jnana yogyata praptihi jnana yogena siddhihi. Siddhim avapsyasi. All the missing links have to be connected. So, Madartham karmani kurvan, doing karma for my sake, you will gain antakarna shuddhi, sattva shuddhya, jnana yogyata prapti, jnana yogena, mokshaha, mam avapsyasi, siddhim avapsyasi. Therefore, mat karma paramo bhava. Even if you say this also is not possible, mat karma, that is, karma yoga is not possible because of raga dvesha. Raga dvesha overpower you, they control you. Then also you need not worry. Then the next step, this is the fifth stage, fifth level, fifth step. Even if you're not able to look upon Ishvara as dharma, as the order, not able to perform karma for the sake of the Lord, Ishvara Prityartham, any karma na kartum shakyate, then Bhagavan suggests another alternative. That is the fifth step, fifth stage of the bhakti. That is given in the 11th shloka. We will read. Athi tadabhyashaktosi kartum madhyogamashritah.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुम् मद्योगमाश्रितः
सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्.
सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्.
May you perform Nitya Nimitika karma and Kamya karma, desire prompted activities you give up and completely avoid Pratishiddha karma, Nishiddha karma. This is the recommendation of the karma, whether it is, of course, Nitya Nimitika is Vedika karma, then Kamya Nishiddha karma, Laukika karma. Even if this is not possible because of Ragadvesha, because when Ragadvesha, when Raga, that is born of Kama, therefore you should be relatively free from Kama. You must have Vairagya. If that is, only when that is there, Vairagyam is there, then only karma can be done with the Ishwararpana Buddhi. There is some objectivity, there is appreciation of the Lord as the order. Therefore, the person is relatively free from karma and therefore karma yoga is possible. But that is also if it is difficult. The person cannot dedicate all the actions or perform all the actions for the sake of the Lord. Then what to do? Then you do all the actions, all the karma, Vaidika, Lokika, for your own benefit. That is why in the Sankalpam always we say, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Chaturvida, Phala, Purushartha, Siddhyartham, then you give a long list. Do even Kame Karma also you do. Nothing wrong in doing Kame Karma. Avoid completely Siddha Karma, that the actions which are prohibited by the Shastram. Kamya Karma also you can do, but see to that you do not transgress Dharma. Because Dharma is Ishvara. You cannot violate the order. But have this attitude that when you do Kamya Karma, and when the result of the karma comes, that take it as a prasada of the Lord. May you have the attitude of prasada buddhi towards the karma palam. And karma paladata being Ishvara. Therefore, karma palam may you accept as Ishvara prasada. So Nitya Naimitya karma, of course, that is then Ishvara Prityartham. And Kamya karma, that is for Mama Prityartham, for my satisfaction. So Kamya karma is done by me for my sense gratification. Even if you do, may you offer the result, or may you accept the result. May you accept the result with prasada buddhi. If you are not able to offer the result, if you are not able to perform the karma for the sake of the Lord, may you accept the karma pala with prasada buddhi. Therefore, the buddhi, the attitude is involved. Even when you eat, before you eat, offer to the Lord and eat. We bring in Ishvara in every action. So even when you are a bogi, even when you are experiencing the result of some action, first offer it to Lord and take it as a prasada. So therefore, this is karma pala. This is karma pala. Karma pala prapti, the karma pala anubhava, the karma pala which comes from Ishvara, that the person takes after offering to Ishvara. Therefore, there is some tyaga is involved. In karma pala data being Ishvara, and therefore accepting karma pala after offering to Ishvara. So there also there is awareness of the Ishvara, because Ishvara being the karma pala data. Without awareness of Ishvara, this karma pala tyaga is not possible. Here also tyagam is involved. That is, first you offer to Ishvara, you don't enjoy the result immediately, you take it as the Ishvara prasada. That attitude, that buddhi is involved. So that also forms a part of Karma Yoga only. In fact, Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. It is what Karma Yoga is, as we saw before, it is defined. If Ishwararpana Buddhi is not possible, then Prasada Buddhi will take to the Prasada Buddhi, which is one aspect of the Karma Yoga. So that is the fifth step here. Therefore, he says, Athai, Atha, Etadapi. If you are not able to perform karma, Ishwararpana Buddhya, Tadvishe Ashaktaha Asi. If you are not able to. Madhyogam Ashitaha San. Taking to the yoga of Madhyoga. Amayoga, Madhyoga. Taking to the yoga of worshipping me. You offer all the results of your action to me. And then you enjoy it. Even the Papa Karma also, by knowingly or unknowingly, whatever Papa Karma we do, that also we accept as Ishvara Prasada. So therefore, there is some Samatvam is there. The Palam, either it is due to the Papa Karma or Punya Karma. First offer it to Ishvara and take it. Therefore, there is awareness of the Lord. Therefore, there is Prasada Buddhi. Even with regard to enjoying the Papa Karma. Of course, with regard to Punya Karma, enjoying the favors, there is Prasada Buddhi. Even enjoying the Karma Pala, which are not in keeping with one's wish, one's desire, that also you offer it to the Lord and take. The Prasada Buddhi. Therefore, some Samatvam comes. Therefore, Atha etadapi shaktosi, etadapi ashaktaha asi. They are not able to do karma with the attitude of Ishwararpana Buddhi. Madhyogam Ashutaha San, Sarva Karma Palatyaham. Sarva Karma Palatyaham, not giving up the result of action. You cannot give up the result of action. Sarva Karma Palatyaham, meaning that Palam first you offer unto me and then you enjoy. Ultimately, you are going to enjoy. So therefore, Atha in the sense of Yedi, if Etadapi, Idamapi, that is Idamapi Kim Idamapi, Matprityartam Karma Kartum, Nivartayitum, Ashaktaha, Asamartaha Asi. For my sake, if you are not able to do karma, Asamartaha, Ashaktaha Asi, Tataha is Tada. Madhyogam, Mad Bhakti Yogam. It's not Bhakti Yogam. There is, as a Karma Yogi, there is awareness of Ishvara, therefore Madhyogam, Mad Bhakti Yogam, Ashitaha San. Mad Bhaktaha Bhutva, being a devotee of me, Sarva Karma Palatyagam, Yatatmavan Kuru. Yatatmavan, another important word, Yatatmavan, Atmavan, Atmavan, Sarva Karma Palatyagam, Tataha Kuru Yatatmavan, Yatatmavan, Atma here, Yata Atma, two words, such a compound. Yatatmavan, Yatachittaha, Ityartaha. Then Atmavan, Atma meaning, Atma asya asti iti Atmavat, Atmavan, Atmavanto, Atmavantaha. But Atmavan, Atma is not Sachidananda Atma. Atma is used in the sense of Antakaranam, Chitta. Therefore, Yatatmavan is Yataha Atma, Sanyataha Atma, Manaha, Antakaranam, Chittam, Yena Saha. That person is Yatatmavan, Yatachittaha Ityartaha, Sanyata Manaha Ityartaha. The one who has a mind, the Atma, meaning mind, Yataha, control, discipline. The mind is disciplined. If the mind is disciplined and turbulent, then the person cannot take to Karma Yoga. Therefore, with a disciplined mind, may you follow the step. That is, may you express your Tyaga. Tyaga has to be expressed by action. It's not just understanding by action, the attitude, expressing the attitude in the form of acknowledging the karma pala, that is from Ishvara. Therefore, one must consciously acknowledge. that everything what we enjoy is the prasada of the Lord. Therefore, this prasada buddhi. That is why we offer food before eating, parisheyanam, etc. Even when we enter a new house or we go anywhere, first we place a Lord in the house and then we enter. So we give first preference to the Lord. Even the child we consider to be a prasada. So therefore, prasada buddhi. Prasada buddhya kim prayojanam iti priche. What is the use of prasada buddhi? Being a part of karma yoga, of course, it prepares, it purifies the mind. It purifies the mind. Antakarna shuddhihi, sattva shuddhihi bhavati. And also, because prasada buddhi is there, even when papa karma is experienced, therefore it reduces our responses, our reactions in the situations. So our reaction, when response is required, we don't react. In fact, we sensibly act. So when you have this attitude, karma pala as prasada, then there is no or there is lesser reaction, because raga dvesha is neutralized. The raga for ishta palam and dvesha for anishta palam. Since ishta palam, anishta palam, whatever it may be, it is taken after offering to the Lord. Therefore, raga dvesha is neutralized to a great extent. Therefore, there is less reaction as response to situations. So therefore, if the result is desirable, there is no elation. If the result is not desirable, then also there is no depression. The person doesn't get now udvijate, it doesn't get elated, doesn't get depressed also. There is samatvam. So therefore, neither raga nor dvesha will have no more hold on you when there is prasada buddhi. It doesn't mean raga dvesha has continues has completely gone. It is being there, but it will lose its capacity to create excessive joy or excessive depression. So you gain some samatvam, evenness of mind. That is what karma yoga is. Therefore, the karma yogi. So therefore, as a karma yogi, the prasada buddhi is important. When all karma palas are offered to Ishvara, it means the karma itself is given up. That is why sarva karma pala tyaga. The results are offered to Ishvara. An action is undertaken by the person expecting certain results, but he is not a dictator of karma pala. Karma pala data is Ishvara, given by the Lord. Therefore, whatever comes, he accepts with graceful attitude. Therefore, there is tyaga of karma, because you are accepting the result regardless of whether it meets your expectation. Therefore, it is as good as that karma is given up. The raga has no more grip on you. That is what antakarna shuddhi is. For antakarna shuddhi, there is raga and dvesha should give up the hold on your mind. That is what antakarna shuddhi is. Therefore, the person with Ishvararpana, if the person has got Ishvararpana buddhi and do upasana, then it is fine. Otherwise, take to prasada buddhi. When prasada buddhi is there, slowly the person will gain Ishvararpana buddhi, and later he will be able to do upasana because the mind has gained certain tranquility. Therefore, chitta naistalyam is possible, and then by abhyasa, then he will come to Vishwarupa upasana, and finally to Nirguna Brahma Vichara. This is the ladder. Therefore, here Bhagavan says here, even if that is not possible, then do karma pala tyaga. Karma pala tyaga means not giving up the karma pala. That is, take the palam, the result of action after. Enjoy the result of action after offering to the Lord. That is tyaga. That is tyagam is involved. Therefore, karma pala tyagam kuru yatatmavan. Because it is said at the end, it doesn't mean it is inferior. It is no way inferior than the other things. Because The final result is Nirguna Brahma Vichara. So these are the steps, the ladder which is inferior, that's something inferior. Only here thing is, Bhagavan has allowed even Kamya Karma. Because there is pressure of some Kama, therefore Kamya Karma is also allowed. But see to that the pressure overpowers you. After offering to the Lord, may you enjoy. So by that you will have say over your Ragadvesha and slowly you will come to Jnanam. That is the idea. So therefore this is the fifth stage of Bhakti. Therefore Yatatmavan san karma palatyagam, that is sarva karma, sarvesham karmana, whether it is Laukika or Vedika. Laukikanam, Vedikanam va palasya tyagam, palatyaga purvakam, giving up the result of action. It means after offering unto the Lord. Then it becomes nishkama. Therefore the karma that becomes nishkama karma. Therefore, nishkama karmam kuru. That's what karma yoga is. Nishkama karmam kuru. Iti. With this, the fifth stage of bhakti. Fifth stage of bhakti. Bhakti and karma yoga, there is no difference. In fact, all these are part of karma yoga only. If there is no karma yogi without the attitude of bhakti, and there is no bhakta without the attitude of doing karma for the sake of the Lord. Upasana is also bhakti, karma is also, bhakti is also karma. So therefore it is only all part of the karma yoga only. Though we use the word bhakti meaning there is appreciation of the Lord, there is Ishvara is involved. Therefore it is bhakti. The bhakti yoga doesn't mean that is a separate yoga where bhakti is done by the devotee. A karma yogi is a devotee. There is no karma yogi without being a devotee of the Lord. Karma yoga is not possible without acknowledging Ishvara. If Ishvara is not acknowledged, then it is not karma yoga, it is just a karma. Then the person is just a karmi. Because Ishvara is acknowledged, therefore karma becomes karma yoga and therefore karma yogi. Because Ishvara is not acknowledged and there is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, therefore he is a Bhakta also. Therefore Bhakti yoga. Then what is the difference between Bhakti yoga and karma yoga? In fact, there is no difference. That is why all yogas we can put under karma yoga. Therefore, only there are only two types of yoga: karma yoga and jnana yoga. Jnana yogena sankyanam, karma yogena yoginam. Lokesmin divida anishta pura prokta maya naga iti. Therefore, starting from jnanam, then up to the last ladder, that is the last step, sarva karma palatyaga. That is the last one. So if you look from the last step, go from the bottom to the top. Sarva karma palatyagaha, then madartam api karmani, that is Ishvararpana buddhya karma kuru. Then abhyasa yoga, that is Ishta Rupa, Ishta Devata Rupa Upasanam. Then Vishwa Rupa Ishvara Upasanam, Upasana along with karma. And finally it is Nirguna Brahma Upasanam, that is Nirguna Brahma Dhyanam, Nididhyasam, which is Vichara. So these are the 5 steps. But here Bhagavan starts from the higher step and coming down slowly to the lower step, which is last one is Sarva Karma Palatyagaha. Having said this, then having praised Karma Pala Tyaga, then Bhagavan finally he says that it is not inferior to any other steps. Why? Because finally it will give you Shanti. That he says in the next Shloka. So, therefore, we should not take it as inferior. Therefore, Bhagavan glorifies that. Since it is the last ladder, last level, one may think it is inferior to other stages of bhakti. May one not have that idea. Therefore, Shastra, therefore here Bhagavan praises. The stuti. That is the last stage of bhakti is praised. Such type of praising is there in the Shastram. That is, the idea is not to have any inferior attitude towards the step. Therefore, Shastra praises. The praising is done in the shloka, next shloka. Karma palatyaha is praised. Let us read shloka number 12. Shreyo jnanamabhyasa jnanadhyanam vishishyate.
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानम् विशिष्यते
ध्यानात् कर्म फलत्यागः त्यागाच्छान्तिरनन्तरम्.
ज्ञानात् कर्म फलत्यागः त्यागाच्छान्तिरनन्तरम्
Shreyaha is better. Shreyaha, superior. Jnanam is superior. Abhyasat. The words have to be explained, otherwise the meaning of the shloka will not be clear. Shreyaha prashasya taram. Prashasya taram. Which is prashasya taram? Jnanam abhyasat. There is comparison, therefore Panchami Vibhakti. Abhyasat jnanam shreyaha prashasya taram. What is this jnanam? It is dharma jnanam. Bhagavad Mahatmya Jnanam. Not Atma Jnanam. Atma Jnanam is not talked about. So Jnanam here is Abhyasat Jnanam Vishishyate. Abhyasat, compared to Abhyasa. Abhyasa means practice. Practice of what? Practice of Upasana. And Bhashikara says Abhyasat means Aviveka Purvakat Abhyasat. Abhyasa, which is Aviveka Purvaka Upasana. Upasana which is done without any proper understanding. Without understanding what Ishvara, proper understanding of Ishvara. Compared to that, Jnanam is better. Jnanam is not Atma Jnanam here. Jnanam is understanding of Ishvara. Whether it is Vishwarupa or Ishtadevata. Not Aksharam Brahma. Akshara Brahma Jnanam is not talked about here. Jnanam, that is understanding of the Lord. Vishwarupa Jnanam, Atava Ishta Devata Rupa Jnanam. That is better compared to not understanding Ishvara. Aviveka Purvaka Upasanayaha Jnanam Shreyaha. Jnanam Vishwarupa Ishvara Jnanam Shreyaha. It is better. Then better than that Jnanam is Jnanam Jnanat Dhyanam Vishishyate. So compared to Jnanam, Dhyanam is greater. Therefore, Jnanam cannot be Atma Jnanam. What is greater than Atma Jnanam? Atma Jnanam is a goal. Therefore, compared to Jnanam, Dhyanam is greater. Means how can Jnanam be Atma Jnanam? That is why we said Atma is Bhagavad Jnanam, Ishvara Jnanam, Bhagavad Mahatmya Jnanam. That is the meaning we give for Jnanam. So compared to Abhyasa, Jnanam is greater. Compared to Jnanam, Dhyanam is greater. Then what is Dhyanam? If Jnanam is understanding of Ishvara, then Dhyanam is Viveka Purvaka Dhyanam. So Jnanam is Jnanam meaning understanding of Ishvara, and Dhyanam is meditation on Ishvara with understanding. There is meditation, Upasana is involved, Dhyanam is involved, Viveka Purvaka Dhyanam. The conscious meditation. What Vishwarupa is, what Ishtadevata is, that knowledge is Jnanam. And because he has that knowledge, now he does meditation. That is Dhyanam. That is better than Jnanam. Bhagavan alone is in the form of the entire Jagat, is in the order, is the form of the entire order. He is the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karan, he is the cause, material cause. He alone appears in the form of this Kari Jagat. That is the understanding of the Ishvara and meditating on that. That is Dhyanam. So dhyanam is meditation on Ishvara with proper understanding, and jnanam is understanding of Ishvara. So meditating on Ishvara with understanding is better than mere understanding of Ishvara. We don't stop just with understanding, we do meditate. Therefore, dhyanam vishishyate. Then compared to dhyanam, dhyanat karma pala tyagaha is shreyaha, shreyan. Karma pala tyaga is pullinga. Therefore, karma pala tyagaha shreyan bhavati dhyanat. Compared to dhyanam, karma pala tyaga is greater. Why we say? Because anantaram shanti anantaram. Without any anantaram is no time gap. The immediate result of sarva karma pala tyaga is shanti. Because I have prasada buddhi, therefore I accept any situation in life as Ishvara prasada, Ishvara anugraha. Because I appreciate Ishvara as dharma, therefore how can I question, how can I go against or think against Ishvara? Everything is in order. Therefore, whatever Ishvara does is good for me. Therefore, there is shanti, there is no reaction. Therefore, karma pala tyaga is better than dhyanam. Therefore, dhyanat karma pala tyaga, anantaram shanti bhavati. Shanti comes immediately after karma pala tyaga. The person enjoys peace of mind. Otherwise, ashantasya kutas sukam. Where is sukam for the ashanta purusha? Therefore, karma pala tyaga, karma pala tyagat shantihi. Here, karma pala tyagat shantihi is, it is, shanti is the result of karma pala tyaga. It is a hetu panchami. In other panchami, it's our comparison. Karma pala tyagat anantaram shantihi bhavati. Therefore, karma pala tyaga is greater. And here, this abhyasat, we can take the abhyasa, could be Ashtanga Yoga also. In Ashtanga Yoga, it is done not preceded by Viveka, not preceded by Purushartha Nishchaya, without any clarity, without knowing, understanding of what the person really wants. That is Abhyasat. Compared to that, Jnanam is better. Jnanam means that the knowledge of Purushartha is there. So Abhyasa, in Abhyasa, just mere Abhyasa, there is lack of Viveka. Whereas in knowledge, there is knowledge of Purushartha. Therefore, compared to Abhyasa, compared to Ashtanga Yoga, just doing knowledge is better. Therefore, without Viveka, doing, following discipline is inferior compared to Viveka. Therefore, Jnanam, the knowledge of Ishvara, the knowledge of the Purushartha is better than Abhyasa. So therefore, Jnanam Vishishyate and Jnanat Dhyanam. Meditating upon Ishvara is better than mere knowledge of Purushartha. We cannot stop with the knowledge of Purushartha Nishya. Meditate upon Ishvara. So Dhyanam Vishishyate Jnana. And Dhyanam includes Karma Yoga also. Because Karma Yoga with meditation on Ishvara gives better result. So meditation, Upasana with Karma Yoga is better than mere knowledge of Purushartha, which is even when combined with Ashtanga Yoga. So Dhyanam, therefore Dhyanam, meditating on Ishvara with understanding. That is better Dhyanam. And Dhyanat, Karma Balatyagaha. So Dhyanam is, compared to Dhyanam, the renunciation of the results of action, the action which produces a result, the giving up the renunciating the result of action, that is accepting the result of action. That is what renunciation of the result of action. How can you renounce the result of action? Whatever the result you accept with prasada buddhi. That is what the giving up of the results of action. Not giving up action, giving up the results of action. We are talking about karma yogi. Therefore, how can he give up the action? We are not talking about sarva karma sannyasa. He gives up the pressure for the results of action. Acknowledging Ishvara is a karma paladata. The moment the person recognizes that is the phalam as Ishvara Prasada, then the person enjoys some composure, shanti, tranquility. Therefore, that shanti is the immediate result of sarva karma phala tyagaha. Therefore, the person enjoys shanti. Because the person enjoys shanti, that therefore that is not far away from knowing the reality, Akshara Brahma. So that is the idea. Therefore, karma phala tyagat anantaram shanti bhavati. Therefore, dhyanat karma phala tyagaha shreyan and jnanat dhyanam vishishyate abhyasat jnanam shreyaha iti. So starting from jnanam and glorifying karma palatyaha. The karma palatyaha, therefore, it is praised. Therefore, if you are a seeker of moksha, Arjuna, when you ask who is better, who is nearer to moksha, that Vishwarupa darshanam of Karma Yogi, that by Karma Yogi, or Akshara Brahma Upasana by the Akshara Brahma Upasaka, who is near to moksha, if you ask, Bhagavan did not bring into even comparison the Akshara Brahma Upasaka, because Akshara Brahma Upasakas, the Akshara Brahma is myself. Therefore, they are not far away me. In fact, they are me. Therefore, he talks only about the Karma Yogi. Therefore, he says Yoga Vittamaha, Saguna Brahma Upasakaha, Yoga Vittamaha. So, therefore, they Karma Yogis or Yoga Vittamaha, they are the superior, because the end gained by Nirguna Brahma Upasaka is the end Karma Yogi also will gain in course of time. Therefore, there is no comparison. Therefore, Yoga Vittamaha, this Karma Yoginaha iti. Saguna Brahma Upasakaha, Yoga Vittamaha, because from Saguna Brahma, they will grow to be a Akshara Brahma Upasaka. That is by Jnanam, by Vichara, proper inquiry. That is, in course of time, it will happen for a Karma Yogi. Karma Yogi has to grow to be a Jnana Yogi. Therefore, how can comparison be made? So, Karma Yogi, if it is in the kindergarten, then Jnana Yogi is in the college, then how can we compare? It's a stage of growth. It's one's pursuit, it is a stage, different stages. Therefore, there is no comparison, but still, he says, you follow Karma Yoga, therefore, Yoga Vittamaha, Saguna Brahma Upasaka, Yoga Vittamaha iti. Having talked about all this, now, Bhagavan, as he talked about in the second chapter, Sitapragya Lakshana, here also, Bhagavan talks of Lakshana of the person who has got this Parabhakti. Parabhakti is this Abheda Bhakti. Abheda Bhakti is this knowledge. The knowledge is that Ishvara is not separate from me. Ishvara is not away from me. That is Abheda Bhakti. Abheda Bhakti means Abheda Jnana. The person who has undergone all the stages, now that person gains Parabhakti, this Abheda Bhakti, which is nothing but Jnanam, which is same as Sataprajna Lakshanam. So therefore here, the next shloka is going to talk about the Lakshana of the person who has this knowledge. What is the purpose, if you ask? Number one, as in the case of Sataprajna Lakshanam, when Arjuna asked, Sataprajna se ka bhasha, Samadhistasya Keshava and all. You want to know how Sataprajna behaves, how he acts, so that I can imitate, fake it and make it. The behavior of a jnani becomes his sadhana for a sadhaka. The action of a jnani becomes sadhana for a sadhaka. Therefore, if I know this, the action of a jnani, I can take it as my practice. That is one reason. And also by presenting how the jnani behaves, that will create more asha, more interest, more commitment, that will create more commitment in the mind of the sadhaka. That is another reason. And also to understand where we are in the spiritual stage, so that we can improve upon it. That is Another reason. For that purpose, Satapragya Laksham is presented in this chapter. This also can be included as Satapragya Lakshanani, starting from the Shloka number 13 onwards. It's a beautiful Shloka, 13th Shloka onwards, up to the end of the chapter. This is Sthitapragya Lakshanani. The Lakshanam, the characteristics of the Jnani, the characteristics of a Para Bhaktaha, Abeda Bhaktaha is talked about. We will read that in the next class. We'll stop here. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidusvara suraganaha Devaya tasmai namaha Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಶರಣ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶರಣ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಅಜ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.